All right, we're going to go over the review of 10.1 and 10.2. Majority of your quiz tomorrow is going to be on 10.1. You're going to have vocabulary words. So please make sure you know the vocabulary and how they look on the graph and where they are and what they're called. And you're also going to have solving questions on there. And then obviously 10.2. Yes?
Is the vocab going to be like this, like a matching thing, or will we have to write descriptions?
You'll see. It's kind of reversed. So they'll give you a line and you need to tell me what it is.
Okay.
So know it both ways. I'll probably do it for the quiz that way. Maybe I'll do it for the test where you're identifying it. So it'll probably be fill in the blank.
Like we would have to write the definition.
No, you don't have to write the definition. As long as you can identify where it is on the line, on the circle, then you're good. All right. So looking at 10.1, naming a circle. Please make sure you're writing the correct answers because some of you guys, I know, got the first one wrong. You are not just writing circle A. Do not just write out the word circle. It should be written as a circle with a dot A. All right, next question. Name two radii. Can someone give me one? William? AB. What do I have to have on top? A line. Do not draw arrows or it's going to be incorrect. What's my second radius? AD, a line or arrows? A line, okay? There's a difference between lines and arrows. Please don't forget. A line that has two endpoints is just a straight line. And if it's a continuing line, meaning it goes all on and on and on, it has to have the arrows. So naming two chords. Who could give me one chord? Yes, Lara? HC with a line above it. And then who could give me one more chord? What is it? BD with a line above it. You guys could also flip these. If you wrote CH, that's fine. If you wrote DB, that's also fine. All right, looking at the next one, name a secant. What is my secant here? What would my secant be, Christopher?
HC.
HC with what on top?
Arrows.
With your arrows on top because it's continuing through. Okay, so if you're looking at it, it's continuing through. And what's my tangent? What is it? EG or GE, you could write whichever one. And that one has to have your lines. Any questions on the first part? Okay. Looking at this, it says tell whether AB is tangent to circle C. You have to solve this. So just by looking at it, sometimes you cannot tell. But if I were to check this and determine if it is, what makes a line tangent? Does anybody know? Okay, when it touches a circle at one point, but what's also super important, that has to be tangent, yes.
It's like perpendicular from the circle.
Good, it has to be perpendicular from the radius. So I know looking at it, you may not be able to tell. So what I suggest you do is solve it. I have 5 squared plus 11 squared. Now I'm determining if it's a right triangle. 13 squared, I'm going to get 25 plus 121 equals 169. Add these two together. Is 146 equal to 169? No. So explain my reasoning. It is not a right triangle. Not a right triangle. And I'm done. All right, these two questions, 8 and 9, you will have these on your quiz. It's going to be in more of a word problem format, so I'm giving you a heads up right now. It's going to be more of a word problem format where it will say AB is 15, A, and let's say this is D. AD is 9, find the radius. So it's still the same concept. It's just not going to be drawn for you. You're going to have to label it and solve for your radius. So for this question, I am solving this. So solving it, I'm going to have, still using my Pythagorean theorem, 15 squared plus r squared equals, this is the most important part, you're adding your 9 plus your r and you're squaring it. 15 squared is 225 plus r squared. And remember for this part, once it catches up to me, you are not distributing that squared. You have to FOIL it. So if you FOILed correctly, you should have had 81 plus 18r plus r squared. That's what you should have had if you FOILed it correctly. So how you should have solved that, I'm going to solve it right here. You should have had 9 plus r times 9 plus r. Then you should have had 81 plus 9r plus 9r plus r squared. That's what you should have had if you solved it out. Combined your like terms, 18r plus r squared plus 81. Yes, you're gonna have to wait. All right, now looking at it, solving it out. 81, I'm gonna subtract that first. Subtract 81 from both sides. If you subtracted correctly, you should have had 144 plus r squared equals 18r plus r squared. Your r squares are going to cancel out because if you subtracted them, they just canceled out each other. Then I have 144 plus 18r or equals 18r. 144 equals 18r. Divide by 18 and r equals what? Good. 8 should have been your answer. All right, doing the same thing for number 9. Solving it the same way, I have 21 squared plus r squared equals, still using the same thing, 9 plus r squared. 21 squared is going to give me 441 plus r squared equals, still using the same thing. And then combining what I can combine. So for this one, my r squares are going to cancel out. Subtracting 81 from both sides. I'm going to get 360 equals 18r. Divide both sides by 18 and r equals 20. Good. Questions on those two? All right, looking at number 10, what's the most important thing when you see that cone shape? What do I know when I see that cone shape? Anybody? What can you tell me about the cone? Yes.
The sides of the AB and AD are congruent.
Congruent, good. These two sides will always be congruent. So if they're asking me to solve for x, I have to set them up equal. So setting it up, it should have been set up as 3x minus 4 is equal to 2x plus 1. Subtract 2x from both sides. You're going to get x minus 4 equals 1. Add 4 to both sides. X equals 5, and that's it. All you had to do was set them equal and solve. Questions on 10.1. If you can do all of this without any help from anybody and you know all your vocabulary, you're good for majority of the questions on the quiz. Again, it is only 10 questions. I want to say one of the questions has 4 parts though. So it's more than 10 answers. You should be giving me more than 10 answers, but there's a total of 10 questions. Any questions on 10.1? All right, 10.2. Looking at 10.2, you have to identify the major, minor arc, or semicircle, and then tell me the measure of the arc. So I'm going to kind of do them in different colors so you could find them. Some of you were asking, NM, how do I know it's not going, how do I know it's going this way and not the other way, not all the way around? Always take the shortest route, okay? Always take the shortest route of what they're giving you. So NM is going to be right here. How would I solve for NM? Well, first let's identify. Is this a major arc, a minor arc, or a semicircle? Good. This is going to be a minor arc. And then how do I find the measure of this? Yes.
You add all the other measures and then you subtract it by 360.
Good. If I added everything, what would I get?
305.
Good. I'm going to do 360 minus 305. And what's my answer? What is it? 55, right? 55 degrees is correct. Looking at the next one, I'm going to do this one in blue. I'm going from J to L, then to M. Do not go across the circle. You're following the arc. They're specifically talking about the arc. So, JLM, is that a major, minor, or a semicircle? Now, this is a major arc. And who could tell me the measurement of that major arc? 245. You just have to add all of them. So 120 plus 60 plus 65 gives you 245. Looking at the next one, I'm looking for NLK. So going from N to L to K. Is that a major arc, a minor arc, or a semicircle? Good, it's half of a circle, so it's a semicircle. And what's the measurement of a semicircle? 180. That should be super easy. And then the last one, LMN, starting from L, going to M, then going to N, so it's right here. Is that a major, minor, or semicircle? Good, that's a minor arc. And what's the measure of the minor arc? Good, 120 degrees. Any questions on those? All right, these I told you guys for number 5. So you're going to get a question that has like one question with multiple parts. These I told you guys, they're already in degree form. So you're just taking the degree. So same thing as we did before. What's the measure of FG? Good. Yep, you're right. 32 degrees. What is the measure of EGB? Good. If you added all of them, you should have had 208 degrees. All right, looking at the next one, DB. I'm going from D to B. Again, I'm taking the shortest distance. What's the measure of DB? 105 degrees. And my last one, ACE. So going from A to C to E. Good, 260 degrees. These questions at the bottom, 6 and 7, don't worry about them for the quiz, because they will not be on the quiz. Questions, comments, concerns? Again, majority of your questions is from 10-1, but you'll also see some questions from 10-2. Yes?
How many multiple choice questions?
I want to say it's like 3.
Oh,
It's not a lot. Majority of it's free response.
is the 3 multiple choice from like the
It'll-
part question?
Be more vocabulary, no.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
How many questions did you say was going to be total?
10, but there's more than 10 answers.
Okay.
Yes. Wait. Any more questions on quiz review? No?